Tweet. Hey, Donald Trump, I'm an American Muslim and I already carry a special ID badge. Where's yours? And there is the picture of Sergeant Tayyib Rashid's U.S. Marine Corps ID, the kind of ID that no member of the Trump family has ever had. Joining us now, former Marine Sergeant Tayyib Rashid, who tweets at Muslim Marine. Tayyib, I have to tell you, when I saw that tweet last night, I immediately sent it to the producers of this show and said, how do we get him? How do we find him? How do we get him on TV? So thank you very much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. Obviously, you were reacting to Donald Trump's comments first in an interview where he was suggesting that maybe all Muslims should be in American Muslims in a database. And possibly with an ID identifying them that way. This was your reaction to that. How did it feel to have the front runner for the Republican presidential nomination saying that there should be one religious group in the United States that should be identified as that so that everyone can know who they are?
Well, first of all, Lawrence, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for this opportunity. As a member of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, Muslims who believe in the Messiah, my father, who's a missionary, raised myself and my siblings with certain American values. And one of those very important values is that loyalty to your nation is part of your faith. And so I've lived by those values. I've tried to embody those values. And as a result of those values and that specific value, I decided that the best way that I could serve my country, the United States, was to serve in the armed forces. And so having served in the armed forces, having, been with brothers of all different races and colors and creeds and different faiths, hey, look, we all bleed red, white, and blue. And when you have a front-runner candidate like Donald Trump making statements that seeks to divide our society and divide our armed forces, it just hit a nerve with me, and I had to respond. So I am very honored that there's many Americans. As a matter of fact, if you can look at, with the number of retweets I've had, that there's many Americans that agree with that sentiment, and I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah, your tweet has really flown all around the world. And of course, as we know, it should be noted that Donald Trump, when the day came in his life to decide whether to do military service during the period when we had a draft in the Vietnam War, he did everything he could possibly do to evade service in the military. So let's listen to what Donald Trump, the first statement Donald Trump made on video about this. Let's watch this and listen to this.
Should there be a database system that tracks the Muslims here in this country?
There should be a lot of systems beyond database. I mean, we should have a lot of systems. And today you can do it. But right now we have to have a border, we have to have strength, we have to have a wall, and we cannot let what's happening to this country happen.
But that's something your White House would like to.
Oh, I would certainly implement that. Absolutely.
Specifically, how do you actually get them registered and go data?
It would be just good management. What you have to do is good management procedures. And we can do that. It's nice.
I mean, do you go to mosques and sign these people up into the system?
Different places. You sign them up at different, but it's all about management. Our country has no management. This is it.
Would they have to legally be in this database? Or would it be their
They have to be. They have to be.
Now, Tayyib, he's feeling the heat from this one, and so he has done the usual Donald Trump thing, simply lie and pretend that he never said what you just saw him say. He tweeted, "I didn't suggest a database, a reporter did." Now, he said, we just heard him say that of course he would implement that, absolutely. He's talked about how would you get people registered into the database. He answers that. He says you would do it through good management. That's how he would track you down, Tayyib. That's how he would track you down and get you into his database and issue you that ID. He would do it through good management.
Yeah, and that's Donald Trump for you, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I think what most Americans recognize and Muslims as we band together is that, look, we're going to get together and we're going to, continue into the future and continue to advance this country together. And each and every single one of us, whether we be Muslim, Christian, Jew, all Sikh, we're all an important element of the fabric of American society. And as the leader of, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, His Holiness Mirza Masroor Ahmad has said over and over and over again, is that service to humanity is part of every Muslim's duty. And so in response to that, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community and myself as a member, we have engaged in activities that serve our fellow Americans. We've had blood drives. We've actually collected hundreds of thousands of units of blood. We've had many peace rallies. Look, we're not going to back down. We are open to dialogue. We're open to help people understand that the Islamic faith is a peaceful one. And if a person has a disposition that is violent, or if a person has a disposition that is, hateful, they're going to act on those instincts regardless of what faith they are. So, we're here to build bridges, and I'm here to build bridges with my, fellow Americans. People like Donald Trump, I feel, sad because, they're in a position to build bridges, and instead, what they do is just divide us. And I think that's really unfortunate.
Sergeant Tayyib, Rashid, thank you very much for joining us tonight. And I have to tell you, I look at Twitter hoping to find things that I don't know, and in fact, hoping to find things for this show. And so just about 24 hours ago when I saw your tweet, I just knew I had to get you on here. So thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Lawrence. My pleasure.
Thank you. Coming up, the hacker group Anonymous